That was a raindrop. Hmm. Oh,
And now the starting lineup for Camden Fairview Cardinal. Playing right field, number 2, Mari Utsey. The center fielder, number 8, Brody Dow. Playing left field, number 5, Aiden Zimmerman. Third baseman, number 21, Jackson Wilson. The shortstop, number 4, Jack Jeffers. Playing second base, wearing number 7, Elijah Scandy. First baseman, number 19, Peyton Schroeder. Tonight's catcher, number 12, Daniel Chambers. On the bump for the Cardinals, number 9, Michael Betts. The DH, number 8, Drew Mustick. Cardinals are coached by Austin May, assisted by Jeffrey Neal and Todd Schroeder. Ladies and gentlemen, as you now please stand, remove your hats. Let's honor our country with playing of the national anthem.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget our concession stand. Top notch down there. Got barbecue sandwiches, popcorn, cold drinks, candy. We also have barbecue nachos. Please support the Camden Fairview Baseball concession stand.
Popcorn machine quit last night, and they didn't have time to get barbecue ready because we weren't supposed to be here. All right. Dr. Lewis. Tammy and Dr. Lewis. All right, Camden Fairview Cardinal baseball coming at you live from George Branch Field here in Camden, Arkansas.
Cold drinks, candy, and chips. We're able to give you hot food prepared at the last minute location change. But please visit the concession stand.
Camden Fairview versus the
CJ
Crossett
Brown leading off
Eagles.
for Crossett.
CJ
Michael
Brown
Betts
leading it
on the
off
mound for the
for the
Cardinals.
Crossett Eagles. Michael Betts on the mound for the Cardinals. And Michael Betts kicks, delivers pitch number one. That is in for a strike. Daniel Chambers, the other half of the battery for the Cardinals. Peyton Schroeder over at first. Elijah Scantling at second. Jackson Wilson, third base. Jack Jeffa, shortstop. That pitch misses the plate for ball one, makes the count 1-1 strike. Left field for the Cardinals tonight, Aiden Zimmerman. Center field, Brody Dow. And rounding it off out in right field, senior Mari Utsi. Here comes the pitch from Betts. That ball swung fouled over to the third base coach's box. And the count 1-2 strikes to C.J. Brown. C.J. Brown, Maddox Morgan, Cole Kelly due up top half of the first inning for the Crossett Eagles. 1-2 strikes. And Betts with the kick delivery, and that hits C.J. Brown in the ribs. And he is going to take the trip down to first base on the hit by pitch.
Batter, the third baseman, number 16, Maddox Morgan.
Brings Maddox Morgan, the Crossett Eagle third baseman, to the plate. Brown with a lead over at first base. And here comes a delivery on the outside edge of the plate for a strike, and the count no balls and 1 strike to Maddox Morgan. Crossett with their leadoff man on first base here in the top of the first inning. And that pitch in for a strike. Nice pitch there from Betts, and the count no balls and 2 strikes to Maddox Morgan. C.J. Brown with a lead at first base. Betts turns, throws, and that ball past first base over to the fence. And C.J. Brown's going to make the turn, and he'll be in at third base, standing up. Crossett with a runner at third base now on the error there by the Cardinals. And Maddox Morgan with an 0-2 count. And that pitch in for strike three as Morgan watches that one for the first out of the inning. Cole Kelly now the Crossett Eagles second baseman.
Crossett, number 6, second baseman, Cole Kelly.
One away. You've got a runner in third or at third base for the Crossett Eagles. Count even now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Michael Betts with the delivery home. That ball just off the plate, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 count, one away here, top of the first inning. Crossett with a runner at third base. And that ball hit, fielded there by Jack Jeffers, going to get a run home. That ball over to first base for the out, but that does drive home a run for the Eagles. Two away now for Landon Taunton.
Batter number 17, Landon Taunton, the center fielder.
Two away, Crossett with a 1-0 lead here, top of the first inning. Michael Betts on the mound for the Cardinals. That pitch in for a strike. Here comes a pitch from Betts, swing and a miss, and Landon Taunton in the hole 0-2 here. Oh, 2 pitch on the way. That ball inside. One ball, 2 strikes to Landon Taunton. Here comes the kick and the delivery. That one swung and fouled back into the fence. Jan Scantling was headed to the house on that one. All right, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count, 2 away. And Michael Betts kicks and delivers, and that one's hit up in the air. Mariuzzi over and under it for the out in right center field. So Crossett gets one across on a hit by pitch and a fielder's choice RBI. They lead it 1-0. Cardinals coming to the plate.
leadoff hitter for Camden Fairview tonight, number 4, the shortstop, Jack Jeffa.
All right, Jack Jeffers leading it off for the Cardinals here. Bottom of the first inning. Cardinals trail it 1-0. Jack Jeffers going to try to get things cranked up here for the Cardinals. Aiden Brown on the mound for Crossett. First pitch inside, and Jack Jeffers has a 1-ball, no strike count. Last minute change of venue for tonight's game was supposed to be played in Crossett. That pitch on the inside corner and the count 1-1. The weather moved it to Camden, and we're going to try to get it in before the weather gets here. 1-1. Here comes the pitch. That one outside, and the count 2 balls and a strike to the Cardinal leadoff man, Jack Jeffers. And that pitch high, maybe a little outside. 3 balls and a strike. Hitters count. Let's see what Jack's going to do with it here. And he hits that one, just going to be foul, just on the other side of the bag there at third base. And Jack will come back and try it again. Full count to the leadoff man, Jack Jeffers, here in the bottom of the first inning. Cardinals trail the Eagles 1-0. And Jeffers hits that one into center field. That ball's going to be down for a base hit here to start it off for the Cardinals. Elijah Scantlin, the Cardinals' second baseman, now to the plate.
Now batting for Camden Fairview, second baseman, number 7, Elijah Scantlin.
Mari Utsi waits on deck. Peyton Schroeder would be after Utsi in the lineup. Here comes the pitch. Jack Jeffers on his way to second base and picked off there by the catcher. Caught stealing was Jack Jeffers. And Cardinals down to no base runners and 1 away. One ball, no strike count to Scantling. Here comes the pitch. That one inside edge of the plate, and the count even at 1-1. Here comes the pitch from Brown. That one outside, and the count 2 balls and a strike. And that one up around the head there of Scantling, and the count 3 balls and a strike. Here comes the pitch. Scantling hits that one into left field, and he is going to be on with a base hit.
In the box for the Cardinals, number 2, right fielder, Mari Utsi.
Mari Utsi steps to the plate for the Cardinals. Elijah Scantling at first base. 1 away here, bottom of the first inning. Cardinals trail the Eagles 1-0. Throw is going to be back over to first. Scantling in ahead of the tag. Here comes the pitch. That one hits Mari Utsi, and that's going to put runners at first and second. All right. Peyton Schroeder to the plate now for Camden Fairview Cardinals.
Batting for the Cardinals,
with the opportunity here to tie the game up here. One away for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the first. And that pitch in for strike one. And that pitch just a little high. And the count 1-1 to Peyton Schroeder. Cardinals with one away. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Crossett Eagles with a 1-0 lead here early. And Schroeder hits that one off the end of the bat, fielded there by the shortstop, overthrown out into the outfield. Mariuzzi's going to turn, and he is going to come home. And that play there scores 2 runs for the Cardinals. And error there by Crossett scores 2. On what should have been a 6-4-3, or at least a 6-4, turns into 2 runs for the Cardinals. Crossett coach going to go out, bring his troops in. We're going to take a break here with them. Cardinals lead it now 2-1.
Batting for Camden Fairview, center fielder, number 10, Brody Dow.
Cardinals center fielder Brody Dow to the plate now. 2-1 Cardinal lead. Throw going to go back over to first base. Peyton Schroeder back on the bag ahead of the tag there. And Dow swings through that one for strike one. And pitch to the plate. Dow swings at that curveball. And he is in the hole 0-2 now to the Crossett Eagles pitcher Aiden Brown. Peyton Schroeder down at first for Camden Fairview. And that pitch inside, Brody fights it off, hits that one out into left field. And the Cardinals keep it going here in the bottom of the first inning. Cardinal DH Drew Bostic to the plate now.
Number 8, Drew Busted.
One away in the inning, Cardinals with runners at first and second. And that pitch off the outside edge of the plate. 1 ball and no strikes to Drew Bostic. And that one low. Bostic watches that one by, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. 1 away, Cardinals with runners at first and second. Peyton Schroeder out at second. Brody Dow at first base for the Cardinals. Drew Bostic looking for a couple of RBIs here in the bottom of the first. And that pitch on the outside edge. And the count 2-1 to Drew Bostic. And Drew swings through that one, evens the count up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 count, one away here, bottom of the first. Cardinals with a 2-1 advantage. Comes the 2-2 pitch. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes now. Full count to the Cardinal DH. And that one fouled back into the mitt. And on strike 3, that is 2 away now for Camden Fairview. He got a piece of it. Catcher caught it. That brings Michael Betts, the Cardinal pitcher, to the mound here in the bottom of the first. That pitch in the dirt bounces away from the catcher. Keeps it out to the left of him. Brody Dow had to slam on the brakes and go back to first. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Michael Betts. And that pitch in for a strike. The count even now at 1-1. Cardinals last night left a lot of base runners out on the field at the end of the inning. They've got to capitalize and score those runs. Michael Betts hits that one, fielded by the shortstop, throw over to second for the force out, and out number 3. Cardinals leave a couple on base. They score a couple. We're headed to the second inning. Cardinals lead it 2-1. All right, Jackson Mills going to lead it off for the Crossett Eagles here, top of the second inning. Camden Fairview with a 2-1 advantage here in the ball game. Michael Betts Kicks in, delivers that curveball, finds the strike zone and the count. No balls and a strike to Jackson Mills. Michael Betts coming to the plate. That one outside. Nice job there by Daniel Chambers to slide over and keep that one in front of him. Cross body catch there. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike to Jackson Mills. And swings through that one and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mills, the leadoff batter for the Eagles here in the top of the second inning. Camden Fairview leading it 2-1, and Mills swings through that one, and he goes down on strikes for out number 1 in the top of the second inning. Brings number 7, the catcher Hudson McCloy.
Batter number 7, catcher Hudson McCloy.
Michael Betts with the spin kick and in up on the hands. McCloy leaves that one there in the count 1 ball and no strikes. Betts got the sign he wants, kicks, delivers that one inside as well, and the count 2-0 now to the Crossett Eagles catcher Hudson McCloy. And here comes the pitch from Betts. That one again inside. And that hit either the catcher or the umpire in the mask. I couldn't tell which one it was. I think it hit Daniel Chambers, what it looks like. Home plate umpire John Dawson checking on him. 2-1 count. 2-1 count to McCloy. And that pitch in for strike number 2. 2-2. The count here to McCloy. 1 away in the inning. And there comes the pitch, and that hits him inside. The Betts worked him inside there for several pitches and ends up getting him in the hip. The DH now for the Eagles.
26, Stephon Johnson.
Stephon Johnson to the dish for the Eagles. McCloy with a lead out at first base. And that pitch outside, and Daniel Chambers loses it on the exchange. No throw down. McCloy takes second base there unopposed. And the Eagles with a runner in scoring position now with McCloy down at second. Betts comes to the plate with that one outside. 2-0 count to Hudson McCloy. I'm sorry, to Stephon Johnson. Hudson McCloy down at second base. Here comes the pitch from Betts right on the edge of the plate. Good looking pitch there by Michael Betts. And the count 2 balls and a strike to Stephon Johnson. 2-1 ball game. Eagles with a runner in scoring position. They're trying to tie it up here. Here comes the pitch and swings through it late. And the count even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Stephon Johnson. Betts with the delivery and swings at that one. Bounced off everybody behind the plate. Two balls and 2 strikes to Stephon Johnson. McCloy retreats back to second base. Here comes the pitch and goes down on strikes. Second strikeout of the game for Michael Betts here in the second inning. Bronx Husky, the right fielder, to the plate for Crossett. Still with Hudson McClory out at second base. Here comes the pitch outside. Nice job, Chambers, reaching across there. He tried to slide over, and a little combination of sliding and reaching over. He kept that ball there. And going to have a pinch runner there.
15, Noble McElroy, courtesy running for the catcher.
Going to come in and courtesy run for the catcher. Kind of late here in the at bat, just getting him dressed and ready. That swing, and that ball's going to be hit into left field. And he's going to hold up the runner at third base. That puts runners at the corners.
Number 9, left fielder, Jamal Knowles.
Eagle left fielder, number 9, Jamal Knowles, now to the plate. And Daniel Chambers goes out, brings the infield in on the mound. They're going to discuss the strategy here with runners at the corners. All right, Daniel Chambers makes his way back to the plate. 2 away, no, 1 away. No, 2 away, 2 strikeouts in the inning, 2 down. I had 2 down written. Scoreboard had 1 away, so got it straight now, 2 down in the inning. Jamal Knowles at the plate. And that pitch in for strike 1 to Knowles. No balls and a strike to Jamal Knowles. Here comes Betts with the delivery. Swings through that one, and Knowles down 0-2 now with 2 away here in the second inning. And they've got them in a pickle, and everybody is safe. Cardinals did a good job to run folks back, but the runner does end up at second base. The count is 0-2 to Knowles. Crossett now with runners second and third. 2 away here. And Knowles with 2 strikes on him. Betts with the kick and delivery, and that's going to strike out Knowles looking here to end the inning. So they leave a couple, no runs scored, two left on base, three strikeouts in the inning for Michael Betts. And we're going to the bottom of the second. Camden Fairview leads it 2-1.
Batter number 21, third baseman Jackson Wilson.
Jackson Wilson leading it off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the second inning. First pitch to Wilson is high in the zone for ball one. Wilson at third base tonight for the Cardinals. Here comes the pitch. He swings at that one, fouls it back and out of play. And the count even now, 1-1 to Jackson Wilson. And Wilson fights that inside pitch off, rolls it slowly over to second base, picked up, and the throw over in time for out number one. 4-3 ground out there for Wilson is out number one, and that brings left fielder Aiden Zimmerman to the plate for the Cardinals. And the kick delivery by Brown, that one's high. And the count 1-0. Aiden Zimmerman, then Jack Jeffus and Elijah Scantling would follow. And Zimmerman swings through that one, and the count even at 1-1. Here comes the pitch, and fouled off to the backstop. Zimmerman in the hole now, 1-2. Here comes the pitch from Brown. That one's going to be outside. Zimmerman flinched at it, left it alone. 2-2 the count now to the Cardinal left fielder, Aiden Zimmerman. Cardinals leading it 2-1 here in the top of the second inning, one away. And Zimmerman hits that one over to shortstop, fielded, and he is out. Nice job there by the stretch by the Eagle first baseman. That throw was off the bag. He stretched kind of back to his right and was able to keep the ball from hitting the foul pole there in right field. Jack Jeffers, the batter now for the Cardinals. And first pitch swinging hits that one in the air left field, and that is caught by the Crossett left fielder for out number 3. Cardinals 3 up, 3 down in the the bottom of the second. They lead it 2-1. All right, top of the third inning, the leadoff man for Crossett back up in C.J. Brown. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning, came around to score for the Eagles, and fouls that first pitch back into the fence. And the count, no balls and a strike. The pollen is everywhere. We see yellow blowing across the sky out here. I'm not sure what the groundhog saw, but it is full on spring in South Arkansas. That pitch in for strike number 2, and Brown in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes to Michael Betts. Temperature is supposed to be in the 30s on Monday morning, but it is full on spring with everything blooming, and the pollen is everywhere. That pitch hit straight up the middle over to Elijah Scantling, and he was ranged over far, throw not in time, and Brown's going to be aboard with a base hit here to start it off for the Eagles. Maddox Morgan, for his second at bat of the evening, he struck out looking back in the first inning. There goes the runner. That pitch hit in the air, and that's going to be down the line, fair ball, and right down the ball. Oh, they called it foul. I thought it was originally called a fair ball. And they're going to back up and do it again. Maddox Morgan hit it down the line. It was on the wrong side of the line to be a fair ball, and the count, no balls and a strike. C.J. Brown back to first base. Crossett had the hit and run go in there, looked like. And Betts going to step off, no throw over to the bag. And there goes the runner, hit and run on again. That's high in center field. Brody Dow back, makes the catch. Brown goes about halfway and back to first base. And that is out number one here in the top of the third inning for the Eagles. Fly out to center field, Brody Dow. C.J. Brown there. Still at first base, Cole Kelly hit into a fielder's choice, but did have an RBI there in the first inning. Crossett's only run of the game thus far. And that pitch right down the pipe, fastball there from Michael Betts for strike one. One away, top of the first inning, 2-1 Cardinal lead. And there goes the runner again, and throw off the mark. And throw going to be now down to third base, and that's past the third baseman. And C.J. Brown going to come around and score on a couple of throwing errors there by the Cardinals. All right, Cardinals let a run score there. Cole Kelly, no balls and two strikes on the hitter Kelly. Base is empty now. Michael Betts concentrate on the batter here with one away. That pitch outside. Betts not going to give him anything much to hit on an 0-2 count, and it's one ball and two strikes now to Cole Kelly. And that ball in the dirt over the head of the catcher. And the count even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That pitch inside, and the count 3 balls. And 2 strikes. 3-2 the count to Cole Kelly. And swings through that one for a strikeout and out number 2. Landon Totten now the batter for the Crossett Eagles. Two away here, top of the third inning. And that pitch, first pitch swung, hit to Jack Jeffers at shortstop, over to first base, and the out. Crossett scores one on a couple of throwing errors there by the Cardinals, tie the ball game up. At 2 apiece, we're headed to the bottom of the third inning here at George Branch Field in Camden, Arkansas. Elijah Scantling leading it off for the Cardinals here, bottom of the third inning, 2-0 count. And that pitch stays high. Elijah ahead now 3-0 here to lead it off in the bottom of the third inning. Tie ball game, 2-2 here. George Branch Field, Camden, Arkansas. That pitch outside, Elijah goes down to first base on the walk. Timeout called here by the Crossett Eagles coach. He makes his way out to the mound. And Aiden Brown is going to be replaced on the mound by number 10 for the Eagles. And that looks like John Kinley. John Kinley now on the mound for the Eagles. He's going to take some warm-up pitches, and we're going to try to find some allergy medicine because the groundhog got it wrong.
Number 10, John Kinley on the mound for the Eagles. At the plate for Camden Fairview. Wearing number 2, Mariachi.
All right, John Kinley takes over on the mound for the Eagles. We are in the bottom of the third inning. Elijah Scantling aboard. Mariachi swings at the first pitch high in the air, center field, caught there by the Crossett Eagles center fielder for out number 1 here in the bottom of the third inning. Peyton Schroeder to the plate for Camden Fairview. Peyton reached on an error back in the first inning. Throw back over. Tag applied to Scantling, but he was back in plenty of time. Quick throw there by Kinley. Brody Dow would follow Schroeder in that pitch inside. And 1 ball, no strikes to Peyton Schroeder. And back over to first again is Kinley. Scantlin in ahead of the tag there. 2-2 ball game here in the bottom of the third inning. And back again is Kinley to first. Scantling again in ahead of the tag. One ball, no strikes to Schroeder. Here comes the pitch, and that one in at the knees, and the count even 1 ball and 1 strike. One away here, bottom of the third inning. And Kinley to the plate, fouled away there by Schroeder. Kinley with a short delivery there, short arm motion. And it's the same motion over to first base. He got a quick pickoff move over to first. And that one about eye level. Peyton Schroeder takes it into center field and caught there by the center fielder there again. I originally thought that ball had gotten on the turf, but Brody Dow to the plate now for the Cardinals. No balls and a strike to Brody Dow. And that pitch in the dirt. One ball, 1 strike to the Cardinal center fielder, Brody Dow. 2 away. We're in the bottom of the third. Dow hits that one high in the air. Shortstop out and calls it and makes the catch there for the third out of the inning. Cardinals leave one stranded, no runs across. We're headed to the bottom or the top of the fourth inning. Tie ball game at 2 apiece. All right, Jackson Mills to lead it off for the Crossett Eagles here in the top of the fourth inning. Tie ball game, 2 apiece. First pitch to Mills in for strike one. And swings through that one, and Mills down in the count 0-2 now to Michael Betts. Michael Betts looks in, gets the sign. And pops that one up, and it's going to be out of play on top of the Cardinal dugout. Oh, 2 pitch now. Hit right back up the middle. Elijah Scantlin backhands it, throw over to first, and nice job by Scantlin, but the throw just not in time. Jackson Mills aboard to lead it off for the Eagles here in the top of the fourth inning.
Number 7, the catcher, Hudson McCloy.
Runner goes, throw down, not in time. And Mills down at second base now for the Eagles. A 1 ball, no strikes. And squaring the bunt is Hudson McClure. He bunts it to keep it from hitting him in the face. And the count now even at 1 ball and 1 strike to Hudson McClory. Gotta have a face. Might as well protect it with a bat. A 1 ball, 1 strike count. Squared the bunt again, and that one outside. Corey pulls it back in time, this time in the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Michael Betts looks in. He's got the sign squaring the bunt again as the infield comes in, and that pitch finds the strike zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the top of the fourth inning. Tie ball game at 2 apiece. Michael Betts looks back to second base, kicks and delivers. That ball hit in the air, but it's going to be foul and out of play there. Two count to Hudson McClory. And time called here by the Cardinals. Third base, Jackson Wilson goes out and talks with Michael Betts. Wilson back over to the hot corner. He's ready to go. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hudson McClory, and Michael Betts is set. And he's going to turn, no throw back to second base. Jackson Mills back to the bag. And here comes the pitch, curveball, and watches it. McClory strikes out, looking on a Michael Betts curveball there that started in like it was going to take his shoulder off, fell right down in the strike zone, and that is one away for the Eagles here in the inning. DH for Crossett, number 26, Stephon Johnson. Johnson struck out his first at bat and swinging at the first pitch inside, fouls it straight down to the plate. And Betts with an 0-1 advantage here on Johnson. One away in the inning. Crossett Eagles with a runner out at second base. And here comes the pitch. Runner goes, and no transfer there for no balls. 2 strikes the count to Stephon Johnson. And that pitch in for a strike. And down on strikes looking is Stephon Johnson. That brings the right fielder Brox Husky to the plate. Husky with a hit to left field back in the second inning. Two strikeouts in the inning from Michael Betts, trying to get the third one here and get the Cardinals back to the plate. First pitch swings, fouls it up and out of play. No balls and a strike to Brox Husky. And that pitch high and inside evens the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Crossett with a runner at third base. They are trying to get him home. The Cardinals trying to prevent that here any way they can. They take a strikeout, a ground out, a fly out. And that pitch high in the zone, and the count 2 balls and a strike to Brox Husky. And here comes the pitch by Betts. That one just missed the inside edge of the plate, and the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 away now for the Crossett Eagles here. And that pitch outside, Michael Betts loses him here. And that puts runners at the corners, and Jamal Knowles to the plate for the Huskies. All right, time called by the Cardinals, and Todd Schroeder going to go out and have a visit with his pitcher and infielders on the mound. 2-2 ball game. Eagles with a runner at third base and 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning.
the left fielder.
All right, Jamal Knowles, the batter for the Eagles. Two away here. We're in the top of the fourth inning, tie ball game at two apiece. And the Eagles threatening with the runner there at third base. Here comes a pitch from Betts, straight down, fouled back into Daniel Chambers. He's going to take a minute to shake it off. John Dawson going out to deliver the baseball there to Michael Betts. Going to give Daniel Chambers a minute to walk that one off. Strike called on the pitch. So no balls and a strike, 2-0. Runners at the corners for the Eagles. And the pitch, that ball's hit up the middle, and that's going to drive home a run. Hard hit ball straight up the middle of the field into center field. Line drive there by Knowles brings a run home for the Cardinals.
Number 3, C.J. Brown.
C.J. Brown back to the plate. And curveball in on the inside edge of the plate. Called strike one there. And hard fastball there falls out there at the end, and the count, no balls and two strikes to C.J. Brown. Crossett with runners at first and second. They got one across here in the frame. They lead it now 3-2. There goes the runners, and the pitch fouled off over to the third base dugout. No balls, two strikes, two outs. 2-2, or I'm sorry, 3-2 the score here. Crossett pulling ahead by one here in the top of the fourth. Michael Betts, he's set and kicks and delivers, and that pitch outside. Runners go down to second and third base. All right, one ball, two strikes to count. Crossett with runners at second and third. Here comes the pitch, and that one just misses the outside edge of the plate, and the count even at 2-2. And here comes the pitch fouled away, and Brown stays alive in the at bat. Two balls, two strikes, two outs. 3-2 lead for the Crossett Eagles here in the top of the fourth inning. Camden Fairview trying to get this last strike here. And that pitch hit and going to be fielded by Jackson Wilson. Throw off the mark. Wide of the base. That drives home a couple of runs for the Eagles, and Brown headed over to third base.
Morgan.
All right, Maddox Morgan to the plate now for Crossett. And that pitch high and tight. One ball, no strikes to Morgan. Flew out to center field his last at bat. And that pitch in for a strike. One ball, one strike. And that one bounces away from the catcher. He tried to get over there and get it, and that brings another run home for the Eagles. All right, Crossett with 4 runs across now in the top of the 4th inning with 2 outs. They lead it now 5-2. 2 ball, 1 strike count, and that pitch in for strike 2. Two balls and 2 strikes. 2 away. Michael Betts. Kick, fire, and that pitch down in the dirt. Bounces off the arm there of Daniel Chambers. And the count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals need to get this strike right here. 3-2 the count. Here comes the pitch. He swings, hits that one over to Jackson Wilson. Fielded the throw to first in time, and the Cardinals get out of the inning, but not before a couple of hits on some errors, or I'm sorry, a couple of runs scored on some errors there by the Cardinals. 5-2. Crossett Eagle lead going to the bottom of the 4th inning. All right, Camden Fairview with some work to do here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Drew Bostic going to lead it off for the Cardinals. Michael Betts, Jackson Wilson, Aiden Zimmerman due up here in their half of the frame. Cardinals trail it 6-2. And that pitch low For ball one to Drew Bostic. Cardinals got to put runners on base, chip away at this thing. They've proven already this season that they can come from behind. And that pitch again low, and the count 2 balls and no strikes to the Cardinal DH Drew Bostic. And that pitch inside edge of the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Cardinals in their gray away uniforms tonight. This game's supposed to have been played at Crossett. And that one inside at the hands, and the count 3 balls and a strike. Always easier to call balls and strikes from the chairs outside the fence. 3 balls and a strike. Three one. Here comes the pitch, and that one just a little on the other side of the 8. And Drew Bostic takes a trip to first base on the walk. That pitch behind the batter, it happens. Michael Betts to the plate now for the Cardinals, a chance to help himself out here in the game. Drew Bostic down at first base. And that pitch finds the zone. And the count, no balls and a strike to Michael Betts. Cardinals trailing 6-2. Michael Betts swings through that one, evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. And Betts hits that one off the end of the bat, up in the air. It's right over the foul line, caught by the first baseman for out number 1. Jackson Wilson to the plate now for Camden Fairview. Jackson grounded out to second base back in the second inning. Trying to get something going here for the Cardinals. That pitch just off the edge of the plate. Good looking pitch, but just off the edge of the plate. To the chagrin of the pitcher there. And time called there by Crossett coach. He's going to go out and visit with his pitcher. Camden Fairview trying to mount a comeback here. And the score 6-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. All right, Jackson Wilson back to the plate for the Cardinals. And that pitch outside, and I believe that is 2 balls and no strikes. Drew Bostic waits at first, swings through that one. One away in the inning. Cardinals trail the Eagles 6-2 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And that pitch on the inside corner. Jackson Wilson up on the plate. When they're right there, they're kind of handicapped yourself there a little bit. Makes it hard to do anything with it. You got to fight them off or let them fly. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count, and Wilson swings through that one for strike 3. And out number 2 for the Cardinals in the inning.
Batter number 5, Aiden Zimmerman.
Brings Aiden Zimmerman up for Camden Fairview. And Zimmerman hits that one. That's going to be in the hole over between short and third. And Drew Bostic cruises into second base. And Zimmerman on with a single here to keep things going for the Cardinals in the inning. Jack Jeffus back up for Camden Fairview now.
Shortstop, Jack Jeffers.
Jack Jeffus with a base hit in the first inning got caught stealing. Doesn't happen often to Jack. Trying to redeem himself here, keep something going for the Cardinals. That pitch down the pipe, and no balls and a strike to Jeffus. Cardinals need a hit here. They need to keep it rolling along. Make up some ground here on the Crossett Eagles in the bottom of the fourth inning. And Jack fouls that one off over towards the first base. The gate over on the first base side stayed in play, but the Eagles couldn't get there in time, and Aiden Zimmerman, Drew Bostic make their way back to the respective bases. No balls and 2 strikes to Jack Jeffus here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Crossett with a 6-2 lead. Here comes the pitch, and it stays high. And 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. 6-2 is the lead for the Eagles. Jack fouls that one back on the net above us here, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. All right, here we go with the 1-2 pitch outside, and the count even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jack Jeffus could punch it in to right field here in that gap and give the Cardinals a chance maybe to get a run home. A lot of room in right center, a lot of room between right and the foul line. Taps it over to third, and the throw from the third baseman over gets Jeffus, and that retires the side for the Cardinals. They leave a couple on base, no runs here in the bottom of the fourth. We're headed to the fifth inning. Cardinals trail the Eagles 6-2. All right, Cole Kelly up for Crossett. Brody Dow on the mound now for the Cardinals. Jackson Wilson moves behind the plate. Michael Betts moves over to third. And Chris Randall takes over the duties out in right field. Mariuzzi moves to center. And that pitch off the mark in the count, even 1 ball and a strike. Top of the fifth inning, and Crossett leads it 6-2. Excuse me. Here comes a pitch from Dow. That one outside, and the count 2 balls and a strike. That ball hit up the middle, fielded by Jeffers. Throw over to first in time and got him. Good looking play there by Jack Jeffers. Ranged over towards second base, scooped it up, and the throw for the out. Cole Kelly is retired. Landon Taunton now the batter for Crossett. Taunton is flown out and grounded out here tonight so far. Eagles do lead it 6-2 in the top of the fifth inning. And that pitch from Dow misses outside, and the count 3 balls and no strikes to Landon Taunton. And that pitch fouled over to the Crossett dugout. I guess that ball fouled off of the elbow of Jackson Wilson. 2 balls and a strike. The count to Landon Taunton, the Eagle center fielder. Brody Dow kicks and delivers that pitch outside. And 3-1 is the count now to Taunton. Cardinals off tomorrow. They return to action, weather permitting, Thursday night in Monroe, Louisiana versus River Oaks, and then home again on Friday. And that pitch in for a strike, and the count is full at 3-2. Cardinals will play a 2-game little round robin tournament on Saturday in Woodlawn. So 6 games on the schedule for the Cardinals this week. That ball fouled up and over the corner of the third base dugout. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes, 1 away here in the inning. Cardinals trailing 6-2. Brody Dow kicks. There comes a pitch. Fouls out. That's going to stay fair. Chris Randall. No, it did go foul. Chris Randall gave chase. Couldn't get there in time. That ball was curving fair, and it ended up on the foul side of the line. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that pitch hit the same way again, and Randall again gives chase Might cheat over that way just a scotch. See if he goes 3 for 3 over on that side of the line. 3-2 count, one away. One out in the inning. Brody Dow comes to the plate. That one hit again. Foul on the right side of the diamond. Wasting baseballs, that's what they used to call it. Umpire with a new batch of baseballs. All right, 3-2 count. One away. 6-2 lead for the Eagles, and fouled it again, out of play. Back in the day at Carnes Park, every one of those you brought to the concession stand was a free snow cone. Pretty sure there were some fights over some baseballs. And that pitch again, fouled up and out of play. All right, 3-2 count, one away. I lost count of the foul balls over the right side of the diamond, and that one's hit. It's going to be in play, and Elijah Scantling comes over into short right field, makes the catch for the out. That is not a bad at bat there by Landon Taunton. I'm not sure how many pitches, how many foul balls that was, but that works your pitcher. And a lot of times that's considered a victory when you
First baseman Jackson Mills.
go that deep in the count and that many pitches. Jackson Mills now up for, and the same direction. Brody Dow putting some English on that ball apparently, and it is going up and over the first base side dugout. That's about 5 in a row there between the two batters. No balls and a strike, 2 away. Dow kicks and delivers, and that one's going to be hit the opposite direction this time, down the third baseline foul. And Jackson Mills in the hole 0-2 to Brody Dow. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Crossett leading the Cardinals 6-2. Here comes the pitch from Dow. That one's down the middle, hit to second base, fielded by Scantling. Throw over to first in time, and that retires the Crossett Eagles in the top of the 5th inning. No runs, nobody left, no hits. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. Camden Fairview with some work to do, 6-2, Crossett.
Now batting second baseman, Elijah Scanley.
All right, Savage Scantling to the plate for the Cardinals. Elijah's got a hit in the game, reached on a walk. And first pitch there misses for ball one. Cardinals trying to work their way back into this thing. 6-2 Eagle lead here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Here comes the pitch and fouled. I don't know what's in the air, but they're all going on the right side of the diamond over there and out of play. All right. Back to the action on the field. Here comes a pitch, and that hits Elijah in the head. Hit him in the back of the head, and Elijah going to take a slow walk down to first base. Hit the helmet, but right there on the back part of your head, I don't know what that, I guess it's your skull. That's the only bone in the head I know. Elijah being checked out by the coaches here. We're going to take a break just for a minute. Let them make sure Elijah's okay. All right, Elijah Scantling standing in over on first base. Mariuzzi to the plate. Hard way to earn a base there. One of those Adam Sandler characters said it was his Abdullah Oblongata. And Kinley steps off the mound. And Mariuzzi takes it with him. Here back in the box. Kinley is now set. And the pitch is outside, but called strike. Looked like it was a little off the plate. Hard for me to see from this angle. Count to Mariuzzi, 1 ball and 1 strike, no outs. Savage down at first and throw over to first base. Elijah back ahead of the tag, and the count 1-1 to Mariuzzi. Mari's been hit by a pitch, and he flew out back in the third inning. And that pitch high in the zone, Mari, boy, those are hard to lay off of. They're eye level like that. You can see it so well coming down. You just have to lay off of them. Mari did a good job there. And the count 2 balls and a strike. Eat an elephant 1 bite at a time. That's what the Cardinals trying to do here. And Mariuzzi's going to hit that one in the gap over into left field. And Scantling moves down to second. Utzi aboard with a single here in the bottom of the fifth. Peyton Schroeder now comes to the plate for the Cardinals.
Batter number 19, Peyton Schroeder.
All right, runners at second base in Elijah Scantling. Down at first is Mariuzzi. No outs in the inning. Peyton Schroeder at the plate. That one high and inside. That pitch high and inside. A 1 ball and no strikes to Schroeder. And that one outside, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. Camden Fairview trying to chip their way back into it here. 2 runners aboard. No outs. Schroeder at the plate. Quick turn and a fire down to second base there by Kinley. Elijah Scantling back ahead of the tag. Kinley's got a good move, either to first or second. And that pitch outside, and the count 3-0 to Schroeder. Brody Dow on deck for the Cardinals. Drew Bostic in the hole. And that pitch going to find the strike zone, and the count 3 balls and a strike to Schroeder. And Peyton Schroeder goes down to first on the walk. That loads the bases for Brody Dow. No outs in the inning. And going to have a visit to the mound by the Crossett coach. All right, meeting on the mound is over. Cardinals need to capitalize here. They've got the bases loaded, no outs. They trail 6-2. Peyton Schroeder at first. Mariuzzi at second base. And Elijah Scantling down at third. First pitch into Brody Dow finds the strike zone, and it is no balls and a strike. And fakes a throw to third, turns and throws it to second. Mariuzzi ahead of the tag. That pitch to Brody Dow was a strike. No balls and a strike. Bases packed full of Cardinals. Let's bring some home here. And that pitch outside goes back to the fence, and that's going to bring Scantling home. And Schroeder and Utzi advance on the pass ball. All right, Cardinals bring a run home on the pass ball, and the count now 6-3, or the score now 6-3. The count 1 ball and 1 strike to Brody Dow. Bottom of the fifth here from George Branch Field. Brody Dow hits that one back up the middle, and that's Going to be fielded by the second baseman, and Brody Dow just almost beat it out, but he does drive a run home there. All right, Brody Dow with a run home.
Number 8, Drew Boston.
And brings Drew Bostic to the plate. Peyton Schroeder down at third base. A one away in the inning. And Drew hits that one hard over to second base, and I believe that is going to be off the head of the second baseman. And I'm not sure if it hit his glove first. He's up, put his hat back on. I think it came off his glove. Drew Bostic safe at first. Hard hit baseball there. Line drive. And the Crossett Eagles second baseman looks like he's all right. He's up, walking. That is Cole Kelly. And tough young man. I don't see any blood coming down his face. And he put his hat on. He says, "Coach, I'm good. Put me in. I can play second base." That was a rocket there by Drew Bostic, and it went off of Kelly's glove, and thankfully it did bounce off the glove. RBI there for Drew Bostic, and the score now 6-4.
Batter is Michael Betts.
Michael Betts to the plate for the Cardinals. One away. Cardinals chipping away just a little. Plenty of time left in this ball game if they can chip away at this lead and hold the Eagles off. And that pitch in for a strike. And Michael Betts hits that one back up the middle, fielded by the shortstop. He steps on second, throws across, and gets the double play. Cardinals leave a couple on base. They get a couple of runs. 6-4 now here in the bottom of the fifth. Hudson McClory swings at the first pitch, hits it over to Jack Jeffers, throw over to first in time, and one pitch, one swing, and one out here to start off the top of the sixth inning. Number 12, Ethan Knight. The batter now for Crossett. And that pitch low and away. One ball and no strikes to Ethan Knight. And that pitch finds the edge of the plate. Nice pitch there by Dow. And the count, one ball and one strike. 6-5, Crossett Eagle lead now here in the top of the sixth inning. Brody Dow working for the Cardinals, swings through that one, and strike number 2. One ball, two strike pitch on the way from Dow. Swings through that one. Ball gets away. Drop third strike. Throw down to first in time. And down on strikes goes Ethan Knight with the throw out by Jackson Wilson there on the drop third strike.
Right fielder, Bronx. Husky.
All right, 2 away now for the Eagles here in the top of the sixth inning. And Bronx Husky to the plate for Camden Fairview. Here comes the pitch from Dow. That's in for strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. Brody Dow kicks, delivers that one outside. And the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Cardinals scratching their way back in this thing. 6-5 now, the lead for the Eagles. And that pitch outside, and the count 2 balls and a strike to Bronx Husky. And Brody Dow has the sign he likes. Here comes the kick in the delivery. High fastball, swings, fouls it back out of play behind home plate, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch. Brody Dow shakes his head. He likes it. Here it comes. And that ball hit into right field. Chris Randall moves over, gets under it, catches it. 3 up, 3 down for the Eagles there in the top of the sixth inning. No runs. And Cardinals come to bat here in the bottom of the sixth inning. 6-5, Crossett. All right, Jackson Wilson leading it off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the sixth inning. They trail the Eagles by a run, 6-5, and fouls that one out of play to the baseball magnet right side of the Cardinal field out in the parking lot. And Wilson hits that one. That's going to fall in the gap out there in center field. And Jackson Wilson leading it off for the Cardinals here with a base hit.
Courtesy running for the catcher, number 15, Aiden Evans.
Aiden Zimmerman to the plate for the Cardinals. Aiden Evans running for the catcher. Jackson Wilson throw back over to first in ahead of the tag. First base runner there for the Cardinals represents the tying run. Go ahead run for the Cardinals at the plate in Aiden Zimmerman. The count, no balls and no strikes and no outs here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Here comes the hit, the pitch hit back to the pitcher, and he's going to field it, throw over to first. That moves the runner to second, and not a bad deal there at all, and moves the runner in scoring position for the Cardinals. Good as a sack bunt right there.
Fighting for the Cardinals.
All right, Jack Jeffus, the batter for the Cardinals. Back to the top of the Cardinal order. He swings at the first pitch, pops it up. Several Crossett players calling for it, and caught over on the first base line there for the out.
Number 7.
Two away now for the Cardinals here in the sixth inning. Elijah Scantling hit by a pitch in the last at bat. Hit him the back of the head, part of the helmet there, got part of his head. But he is savage, and that didn't faze him a lick. Cardinals with a runner at second base. That's the tying run. Elijah Scantling trying to swap places out there with Aiden Evans and bring that run home here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Here comes the pitch, and that one stays in the strike zone. One ball, one strike count. Two away here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Cardinals trail the Eagles by a run. And Scanlon hits that one in the air, center field, and center fielder on it, and he's got it. And that retires the side there for the Cardinals. They leave one on base, no runs, no one hit. And we're headed to the seventh inning. Cardinals trail the Eagles by a run. Jamal Knowles leading it off here for the Eagles. Top of the seventh inning, Cardinals trail by a run. Cardinals need to get 3 up, 3 down here for their final opportunity in the seventh inning. And that pitch hit hard. Jack Jeffers has got it. Throw over to first in time, and out number 1 here in the top of the seventh.
Shortstop, C.J. Brown.
C.J. Brown now the batter for Crossett. Brown hit by a pitch, had a base hit into short center, and reached on an error back in the fourth inning. And squares to bunt that pitch in for strike number 1. Here comes the pitch from Dow. That ball outside. 2 balls and a strike to C.J. Brown, the Crossett Eagle shortstop. Maddox Morgan would follow Brown in the inning. And that pitch finds the strike zone, nips the front right corner of the plate, and the count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good looking pitch there by Dow. Jackson Wilson set up. They're trying to make him chase something on the outside, and the count is, I believe it is 2-2 now. I think I said 2-2 last time. I believe it is 2 balls, 2 strikes now. 1 away. And here comes Dow with the pitch, and that's it. Struck him out on the outside edge of the plate. And Brown goes down looking for out number 2 and brings Maddox Morgan to the plate. Morgan struck out, flew out, and grounded out here in the ball game. Here comes the pitch from Dow. That one's in there for strike 1. Cardinals need to get out of this one and get back to the plate. Here comes the pitch by Dow. That one outside off the glove of Jackson Wilson. No harm, no foul, no runners on base, and the count now 1 ball and a strike to Maddox Morgan. Cole Kelly would follow if Morgan can get aboard here. And that pitch in the dirt off the mask of the catcher. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Cardinal catchers kind of took a beating this afternoon. They've done a good job staying in front of those off-speed pitches. Here comes the pitch from Dow. That's by him and swings and misses, and the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 strike left, and the Cardinals can go back to the plate. Let's see if Brody Dow can get him on the 2-2 count. And swings through it and misses. Brody Dow sits him down with a strikeout. And ground out and 2 strikeouts in the inning. That sends the Crossett Eagles back to the field. Going to bring Camden Fairview to the plate one last time. They got to make up 2 runs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. All right, bottom of the seventh
The old
inning.
Camden Fairview center fielder, Mari Hutzi.
Marietzi to lead it off for the Cardinals. Utsi, Schroeder, Dow due up in the inning. Drew Bostic would be after that. Cardinals trail by one here. And that pitch outside, and the count no, one ball, no strikes. And that pitch finds the strike zone, just nicked the corner there on the outside edge of the plate, and the count even, one ball and one strike to the Cardinal outfielder Marietzi. He's played right, he's played center this afternoon, and he stands in the box now. That pitch outside, and now two balls and a strike. A little bit of a sprinkle starting to fall here at the ball field. And that one inside, and the count 3-1 now. Mari scooches his knees back there, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike to Mariuzzi. And ball 4 to Mariuzzi, and that puts him on to lead off the inning there. Got a feeling this might draw a visit to the mound, and I am correct. Here comes the Crossett coach out to the mound. I believe we will have a pitching change here. We're going to take the break with them. Camden Fairview with the tying run aboard and the potential winning run coming to the plate.
Batting for Camden Fairview, number 19, Nate Schroeder.
All right, Peyton Schroeder to the plate. He represents the winning run for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Mariuzzi standing at first base. No outs. And Schroeder lays a bunt down. It rolls foul. They pick it up, and that'll be strike one. Cardinals going to play a little small ball here, try to move Mariuzzi around. They got a couple of outs to work with here to do that. So let's see what they do now. No balls and a strike to Peyton Schroeder. All right, Mariuzzi back to first base. Here is Schroeder back in the box. 0-1 count. And going to throw back over to first base. Mariuzzi diving in head first ahead of the tag. And Schroeder squares the butt, pops it up, and caught it. That butt popped up. The catcher comes up, catches it in foul territory, and Peyton Schroeder out on the bunt.
At the plate, number 10, Brody Dow.
All right, Brody Dow, the batter now for the Cardinals, one away. Mariuzzi still at first base. Cardinals need to seize the opportunity here. And runner goes, and he's ahead of the tag. And Utzi safe down at second base. Cardinals now with the tying run in scoring position. Base hit here ties the ball game. Anything else would be extra at this point. We want to get it tied and then worry about that next run. 1 ball, no strike count to Dow. Mariuzzi down at second base. That pitch in for a strike on the outside edge fastball at the knees. And that was called strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike to Brody Dow. And Brody Dow hits that one off the end of the bat over foul. Guess where? On the right-hand side of the plate. Right-hand side of the field. First base side. There's a baseball magnet over here somewhere. A 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count to Dow. And Dow swings at that one and strikes out. Drew Bostic to the plate for the Cardinals. Cardinals down to their last out.
Drew Bostic.
That pitch low in the zone. Bostic lays off of it, and the count no balls and or 1 ball and no strikes. 2 away. Cardinals down to their final out here. Bostic represents the winning run. Brody Dow out there. I'm sorry, Mariuzzi. And they may have Mari in a pickle. And he gets back to the bag. Mariuzzi broke like he was going to go, and they turned around. Quick pickoff move there by the Cardinal. The Eagle pitcher. That's Cole Kelly. A 1 ball, no strikes. And that ball comes in, curveball, and that is Strike number 1, 1-1 the count to Drew Bostic. Base hit here ties the ball game. Got to get him on board. Michael Betts is next. And that one outside in the dirt. That's going to send Mariuzzi down to third base. Two balls, one strike. Two one count, two away. Tying run at third base for the Cardinals in the bottom of the seventh inning. That pitch, strike on the outside edge of the plate. Two balls, two strikes, two away. Cardinals down to their last strike here. Drew Bostic needs to put her in play here. And Bostic strikes out to end the game, swings through that curveball. Cardinals make a run at it there, and they come back from a 6-2 deficit, but can't complete the comeback. Cardinals drop this one to Crossett 6-5 here. They'll be back in action on Thursday night from Monroe, Louisiana, weather permitting. Thank y'all for tuning in. There will be no JV game tonight, no JV game on the change of venue, and we look forward to seeing you next time.